All right, 3X Lex, right back at you with another one. All right, guys, here today to talk to you and offer my opinions and thoughts on Extreme Home Arcades. Now, most of the people that follow my page are probably familiar with this company. They've been around a while, and they're most popular for their Megacade, which like other YouTubers like Scantron, Tracy Walker, and D Thomas and NC has really made famous to another level. They've really elevated the brand and, more importantly, that Megacade product. So, hey, this is my thoughts on the Megacade and, more importantly, the Extreme Home Arcades company as a company. So I'm on their website now and looking at things, and these are their current prices. They offer a classic, stealth, Megacade, pedestal, game box, cocktail, and tabletop setup. They also offer custom builds also, and I've talked with them probably 3 or 4 times via Facebook, and I even talked with them over the phone before, when I was considering this system before I got the Retro Plus by the arcade guys. Yeah, they do offer custom builds. They will build the Megacade in a 55 or 60 inch screen, and the base size screen for the Megacade is 50, but they will build it in a 55 or a 62. Also, they do custom builds like this. This is an X-Men cab they did a couple years ago, which is like pretty much like a replica of the 6-player X-Men arcade cabinet. It's actually a little big as it is. It's actually quite a bit smaller than the real 6-player cab. It's pretty badass. They charge like an extra $1,000 on top of the base cost to build this. So this one was about $6,500 before toys. With all of the toys added to this, like the active marquee and the light up controls, lighting, all other toys, this one came to about $9,500, which is par for the course for a lot of the upgraded machines with this company. I also think, my personal opinion is that this cabinet would have been better with a 55-inch wider monitor, or maybe even a 60-inch. I probably would have went with a 55 for this build, and the reason why is because you're pushed back considerably more than the standard Megacade. And if you notice how wide this particular unit is, the 50 almost looks small with this setup. But hey, I digress on that. Back to Extreme Arcades. Okay, here's my thoughts. They charge a lot of money for their arcade cabinets, and the build quality, from what I can tell and what I've seen, seems to be top notch. It seems to be among the best in the game and in the industry, and they charge for that. Nothing wrong there with that. It simply seems to be a quality built product, and they happen to charge. Now, that said, from the research I've done and from other videos I've watched, and spending time in Extreme Home Arcade Owners Forum, I have noticed they've run into some issues with their software, their Hyperspin builds. And I've also noticed that they've seemed to have contracted out this Manhattan project, which is a drive that Outside Source is working on. And they've updated that 1 or 2 times also. And it seems to run better than the standard software, but it still doesn't seem to be without issues or hiccups. So it's not perfect. And to be honest, no emulation is going to be. There's going to always be issues here and there. But some builds work a lot better than others. So, I guess the jury's still out. I've been keeping a close eye as far as how much improved the software is, but they still seem to be having some issues with it. But that said, my thoughts on the actual Megacade and things is, I think it's a fantastic product. I don't want to say it revolutionized like large arcade cabinets, but it kind of really helped push those more to the level of acceptance. I remember when people started first building these with like even 40-inch screens, it was a lot of kickback and a lot of push from a lot of purists that were just like, oh, why would you need a screen that big? It's too big. It doesn't make sense. Arcade is supposed to only be 19 or 24-inch screen. And it's elevated a level of acceptance and respect for larger screen arcade machines. And I think that's great. So, which is my preference. My preference is a 40-inch plus screen. A 40 to 55-inch screen would be my preference for an arcade. So, that's great. That said, the thing that really drives the price up for this Megacade is the options for this particular machine is so expensive. It's so easy to get this machine to like $8,500. In fact, every build I've ever built with this machine and added all the toys, slightly better processor, 1 terabyte boot drive SSD, the Manhattan Project, just all these toys just really, really add up fast. Sending light guns, and you're spending $8,500 shipped. It's easy to build this up to 10. I had a friend of mine that built this up to like 10 grand. He ordered it. Then he ran into some financial trouble and he had to end up canceling the machine. So these things are these things can get very, very expensive. They're very exotic, very custom. And I like an over the top build, but they can get very expensive fast. Now, is it worth it? My opinion is a machine is worth whatever somebody's willing to pay, So, whenever you get something custom, whether you want a custom Rolex, a custom built car, a custom anything, that's going to cost. There's a cost associated with that. And hey, only the user and the buyer can be the judge of that, as for whether something's worth it or not. Me personally, if I was to order one, my build would be a custom 55-inch Megacade, a much deeper control panel by about 50%, and one of those 48-inch active marquees. That would be like my build, and the active marquees are like really, 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 really nice for these machines. They really stand out, and I like them on these machines. So, that's like my personal preference for a build with them. I will go with a custom 55-inch Megacade, extra deep wide control panel, higher control deck length. I will push it up to about 40 inches off the ground, off the floor. 50% deeper panel, and a 48-inch active marquee with a 55-inch display. I've talked to them about that before, and like the cost of that, you're pretty much looking at probably about $8,500 shipped, and that's still missing some other toys that I want. Well, all the toys I want, it'd be about $10,000 shipped, And in fact, at that price, he even admitted he put a rush on it and get it out to me like in a month. Another thing that I want to talk about, speaking of which, there's a solid, genuine weight for these cabinets, more so than pretty much any arcade brand in the game right now. You're probably looking at a good solid 10 months as the last time I checked, and it's been a few months, but you're looking at about 10 months of a wait to get one of these. So if you do decide to go with this company, you're going to be waiting a little while. And is it worth the wait? It probably would be, But, the reality is that, you have to accept whether this is going to be a good machine for you or not, It could potentially be worth the wait, but it really depends on what you're looking for in a machine, If you're looking for an extremely high build quality, and in my opinion, you want to go with something custom. To make this machine worth it, I'll just get right to it and speak transparently. In my opinion, for the man that has the money and don't mind spending it on this arcade, doesn't mind spending 10 grand. Let's get to it. Because to order this thing right, you're at pretty much 8,500 plus. You add the necessary toys for this machine, you're at 8,500 plus. To really order this machine right, for it really to be a showpiece, really to show off in your house, you're looking at a good 85 to 10 grand. 10 grand easy to just go ahead, get the flight stick, all of the Wiimotes, the Wii bar, just so you can play everything, enjoy everything. 10 grand, is that worth that? If you're going to order this machine and you're going to order it with the custom size screen, you want the 55-inch screen, you want the giant 48-inch active marquee, ultra deep control panel. Hey, at that exotic of a build and the build quality being what it is, I mean, I couldn't really argue that, Would I necessarily drop 10 for that? Hey, I don't know. Probably not. But, if someone wanted to go in that direction, I couldn't be mad at that. That would be an ultimate build, is bespoke, custom, one of a kind, very exotic. And, hey, it'd be really a showpiece and a spectacle. Then I could see something like that really being maybe worth the wait or worth the money. But, that's just my thoughts. Is if you're going to order this machine, you might as well just go all out. That's my thoughts. I would definitely go all out. And other than that, if I wasn't, the 2-player Stealth isn't a bad price. That's the 32-inch cabinet. It isn't a bad price for that. I mean, it's smaller than a lot of the other cabinets, but still a decent sized arcade. It's loaded with features, and the price isn't bad at $41.50. I personally think the pedestal's way overpriced for what you get. There's not much of a price difference between the arcade and the pedestal. And with the pedestal, I mean, it's just pretty much the controller. It's the bottom half of the machine without the monitor and marquee. And quite frankly, I think that's way overpriced. For $4 grand for the 4-player pedestal, that's a no-go for me. They do offer the game box too, which I think is a much better value. The 4-player version of that is about $2,800. You can just sit that on the table, man, and hook it up to a television. And hey, you save $1,100 right there off rip for the 4-player. And in fact, the 2-player version of that is only $25.50. You get all of the software, all of the features, all of the enjoyment of that hooked up to maybe a 55-inch TV on like a pedestal stand, which you can probably get for like $400. Get your table, get you a game box, and hey, man, you be at about $3 grand and you basically have a poor man's Megacade. So the game box with a nice table, a TV pedestal, and a nice 50 to 55-inch screen, hey man, you have a poor man's Megacade, and you couldn't beat that. And you be at literally half the price of what the actual Megacade costs. So that's something to keep in mind too. There's a lot of ways you can play this. I think the cocktail's way overpriced too. The tabletop's way overpriced. The Megacade's price for what it is, I don't think it's too bad. The Stealth looks to be a good deal. The classic 2-player, I'm not super familiar with. I've seen some pictures of it. It looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm not really mad at that for the price. I think the Stealth's a better value for what you get. But hey guys, that said, hey man, that's just my quick thoughts on Extreme Home Arcades. I've seen a lot of talking in the comments below about them. A lot of talking in YouTube streets. Is one of the most popular, if not the most popular, of the independent arcade machine builders. And hey, just my quick thoughts on this company. 3X Lex out, and I'll get with you on the next one. Peace.